Today is Monday, June 10. I'm Pastor Anthony, and this is Wilderness Wanderings. Today our text comes from Psalm 1. Blessed is the one who does not walk in step with the wicked, or stand in the way that sinners take, or sit in the company of mockers, but whose delight is in the law of the Lord, and who meditates on his law day and night. That person is like a tree planted by streams of water, which yields its fruit in season, and whose leaf does not wither. Whatever they do prospers. Not so the wicked. They are like chaff that the wind blows away. Therefore the wicked will not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the assembly of the righteous. For the Lord watches over the way of the righteous, but the way of the wicked leads to destruction. That's Psalm 1. Today we enter into summer rhythms of our wilderness wanderings. A good place to start is right where we ended in Peter's letter last week, with the theme of vaccines and growth. Psalm 1 also draws a contrast between two ways of life, even as Peter did. There is the way of the righteous and the way of the wicked. It is reminiscent of Moses and Joshua setting two ways before the people in days of old, the way of life and the way of death, with the injunction, now choose life. This question is set before us all throughout the Psalter, as the wicked are contemplated and the righteous too. What separates them? Why do the wicked prosper while the righteous suffer? What does God mean by the way of life and fruitfulness, even and especially in times of hardship, sorrow, evil, and enemies? In the Psalter we are confronted even with the dark and painful expressions of faith in lament, like Psalm 88, that makes no turn back to God at all, and yet somehow remains on the faithful path of the righteous. The psalm paints fruitful trees by waters on the one hand, and chaff without substance or life on the other. Mind you, that's not always the way that things look. The Psalms will often speak of the prosperity of the wicked and the hardship of the righteous. So this psalm does not describe our experience in the way it appears, but does describe reality as it is, a reality that can only be seen and experienced through the eyes of faith by the one who meditates on the Scriptures. The wicked gain much as they transgress boundaries of Sabbath, speed, and relationship, but don't be fooled. They aren't putting down roots, nor is their life bearing the kind of fruit that generates stability or life in the kingdom of God. They are only as good as the next economic cycle or the fortunes of a particular political regime. Chaff in the wind. Substance, rootedness, generativity, and life are found only in God, a meditation on His way, an exclusive use of His means, a keeping of His boundaries. The picture is that of a tree planted by an irrigation ditch. Even though most of the Holy Land is pretty dry and arid most of the time, and its streams intermittent with the rains, a tree with access to an irrigation canal, which is literally what Psalm 1 talks about, that kind of a tree receives refreshing waters consistently, in all seasons, regardless of the storms and droughts of life. So, blessed is that one who is nourished upon and lives the law of the Lord. There is a rhythm to their lives, like the seasonal rhythm of a cultivated, well-cared-for tree. Rooted in God, we find the nutrients that enable us to live fruitfully, rhythmically, and fully this life that we've been given. Drinking from His waters of life build the muscles of our mind, heart, body, and soul to react in the attentive ways of righteousness and love, rather than in the greedy, lustful, impulsive, cruel, prideful, self-righteous, or escapist ways that can otherwise easily become our default. In this way, our devotional life is better thought of as a life devoted. It is not only Bible reading and prayer, it is a whole life devoted to the love of the Lord and His ways. So blessed is that one who devotes all their life and living to Him. As you journey on, go with the blessing of God. May the peace of the Lord Christ go with you, wherever He may send you. May He guide you through the wilderness and protect you through the storm. May He bring you home rejoicing at the wonders He has shown you. May He bring you home rejoicing once again into our doors.